Open your book to page 517. Today's lesson is on how to apply Pythagorean Theorem. So this is named after the person. So in math, when something is named after a person, you need to pay close attention, means it's super important. Okay, but first let's go through the part of a triangle. So you have a right triangle. So when you see this symbol over here, that means it's right triangle, means this is a 90 degrees. And when you have a right triangle, the side that's straight is called the leg. The side that's slanted is called hypotenuse. So you need to know the terms. And the Pythagorean theorem, when you have a right triangle and you label A, B, and C, so the relationship between the A, B, and C is A squared plus B squared equal to C squared. Okay? So this is going to be super important. You need to know this. Now the way this works is that if you look at, see what happened is that what it's saying is that if you make this into a square, okay, the area of this is B squared. If you make this into a square, this area is A squared. Okay? So what it's saying is when you have a right triangle, so this would be C squared. Okay? So the area, that's A squared, plus this area, B squared, will equal to this area, the C squared. Okay? And you can see it more closely over here. If you look at this picture over here, imagine you have this, right? So let's say if you look at, let's go and look at, let's see, let's do it right over here. Look at this triangle right over here. Okay, so if you look at on the side, so again, A squared, this, notice the area over here. So how many triangles are there? 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now look over here, how many triangles are here? 4, right? But if you look over here, look at this area over here. Count the triangles. There are 8, right? See, 4 triangle plus 4 triangle equal to 8 triangle, right? So that's where they came from. So again, area, so this is A, this is B, this is C. So area is A squared. This B, the square of here is B squared. So the area of this plus area of this equal to area of this. Right? Again, you can count the triangle, right? So there are 4 plus 4, and it's 8. Right? So that's what this means, right? So again, A squared means you make this into a square to find the area. B squared means you make this into a square. That's your area. C squared means you make this into a square and you find the area. So area of this plus area of that equal to area of this. And again, you can see that from this picture over here. You can just count the triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So again, it's very simple if you understand the concept. So again, the area formed from this side plus the area formed from this side equal to area formed from this side. And again, the area, how are you going to figure out the area of a square? Well, A times A, right? That's where the A came from. The area of this is B times B. The area of this is C times C. So again, that's where this formula came from. Okay, so area on this side plus area on this side equal to area formed from this side. Okay. And I don't know if the story is true or not. Okay, is that this mathematician Pythagoras, one day he was at his kitchen and he was staring down at the tiles on his kitchen floor, and he just noticed this, and that's how he came up with this formula. Anyway, that's just a story. I don't know if it's true or not. Okay. Now let's go over some examples. So let's look at some examples. Let's go to example 1 on page 518. So A, you have this triangle. So you want to check this is a right triangle or not. Okay, so again, based on this, right? So if it's a right triangle, then this would be true. And if this is true, then it's a right triangle. So you go both ways. So notice there's no symbol, so you don't know if this is a right triangle or not. So you want to check it out. So you want to check, see if it's a right triangle. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equal to 5 squared. Okay, so again, you want to see if this is true. If it's true, then it's a right triangle. If it's not true, then it's not a right triangle. Okay, so you got 9 plus 16 equal to 25. So yes, this is a right triangle. Okay, so let's go to B. So again, let's check, see if this is a right triangle or not. So you're going to get 2 squared plus 5 squared equal to, again, you don't know yet, that's why I put a question mark over it. Right? So again, you square this side plus square this side, see if it's equal to the square of this side. So you're going to get 4 plus 25 equal to 29. Check. Yes, so this is yes. Again, this is a right triangle. Okay, let's go to C. So let's check. So 6 squared plus 12 squared. Again, you don't know yet, so that's why you put a question mark. So 36 plus 144 equal to 169. So 180 equal to 169. No. So this is not a right triangle. Okay. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's go to example 2. So it says the length of the hypotenuse of a right triangle. So it tells you a right triangle, right? So it's a right triangle. It says find the length of the hypotenuse. So that's a hypotenuse of a right triangle. Again, it tells you it's a right triangle whose legs are 8 and 6. Okay, so again, it's a right triangle. So right away you can use these, right? So a squared. It doesn't matter which is a, which is b. They are interchangeable. Right? So again, a squared plus b squared equal to c squared. Again, c is always the slanted side. So you're going to get 36 plus 64 equal to x squared. 100 equal to x squared. Take the square root. So x equal to plus or minus 10. But because this is a real object cannot have a negative. So x will equal to 10 centimeters. Again, so when you take the square root, right? You take the square root. You're going to have plus or minus, okay? So you're going to get plus or minus 10. But because it's a real object cannot have a negative length. So you get rid of the negative. Okay, so that's example 2. Okay, let's go to example 3. It says the length of each side of a square is 1. Okay, so you have a square. The length of each side is 1. Find the length of the diagonal of the square. So this is the diagonal. That's what you're looking for. So again, if it's a right triangle, if it's a square, every angle is a right angle. So all you have to do is look at this half of the square, which is a triangle. So again, use your Pythagorean theorem. So 1 square plus 1 square equal to x squared. So you're going to get 1 plus 1 equal to x squared. 2 equal to x squared. Take the square root. Now, since we know it's a real object, we can just forget about the negative. But you have to be careful, okay? Remember, when you take the square root, you're supposed to have plus or minus, right? So x is going to equal to the square root of 2. And the label would be inch. Okay? So remember your label. Okay, let's go to example 4. It says use Pythagorean theorem to find x in a given right triangle. So now, be careful now, the x is on the leg now, okay? So this one, again, when you use Pythagorean theorem, you're going to get 2 squared plus x squared equal to 4 squared, right? So make sure the hypotenuse always goes by itself. So you have to be careful where the x is. So don't just do it blindly. So you work it out, so you're going to get 4 plus x squared equal to 16. So minus 4 on each side. So x squared equal to 12. You take the square root. So again, technically, you're supposed to have plus or minus, right? So you got x equal to plus or minus, and you can simplify that. Okay, you can go off to the side. So it'd be 2 square root of 3. And so get rid of the negative. So x equal to 2 square root of 3. And the label would be, no label. And that's it. So again, remember the formula. Okay, so this is super important. You're going to use this a lot. So make sure you know that. Okay, let's go to example 6. It says the length of the rectangle. So right away you stop. You draw a rectangle. Remember we did this before, right? As soon as you see the word rectangle, you draw a rectangle and you label length, width, length, width. Don't even have to think. You should become automatic. Now let's go back and read. It says the length. So that's that. Length of rectangle is means equal. 2 means 2. More than means plus is width. Okay, now it says if the length of the diagonal, so the length of diagonal is 10. Find the dimensions. So you're looking for length, you're looking for width. That's what dimension means. Okay, so again, you need to apply your Pythagorean theorem. So you're going to get 2 plus w squared plus w squared equal to 10 squared, right? Again, a squared plus b squared equal to c squared. So now you can go and work it out. But remember how to multiply this, right? You square this, you get 4. You square this, you get plus. Square this, you get w squared. And the middle term is multiply all this together. So all these will give you plus 4w, okay, the middle term. So you need to know this, so that way when you're doing the completed square, you can know how to get that. Okay, so let's go and simplify this. So this, you can combine this, so you get 2w squared plus 4w plus 4 equal to 100. So let's make it equal to 0, so we can do factoring. So you got 2w squared plus 4w minus 96 equal to 0. Now don't do your master product right now because the number is going to be really big. So you want to lower your number as much as you can. So dividing by 2 should lower your number, make things a lot easier to do. So let's go and try factoring first. Okay, so that works. So that makes it a lot easier to do. Again, normally you want to try factoring method first. If it's not factorable, then you can use complete square or quadratic formula. Okay, so you're going to get w equal to negative 8, w equal to 6. And this one is no good because you can have a negative measurement with a real object, right? So the width is equal to 6 and the label would be meters. And therefore the length would be equal to, you come over here, you plus 2, so it's equal to 8 meters. And that's it. Okay. Okay, so let's go and do some practice.